Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me. This is Palace to the Core, and I am Stephen Dawes. Right, so going to be talking about the game against Fulham. So if you haven't seen it yet, or you haven't listened to it, go and do that and come back and listen to what I've got to say. So I said in my preview video that I thought this was going to be a tough game for us, and it wasn't actually as tough as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it was a hard-fought game. It was certainly a very physical game, but it wasn't necessarily as hard in terms of Fulham's chances than I thought it was going to be. So the first half, Fulham had quite a lot of the ball. They had a lot of possession. I think it was something like 70% possession in the first half. So they had a lot of possession. They were moving the ball around, but what I was impressed with was our shape. I thought our shape when we were defending was really good. I felt that we were picking up the loose balls. I felt we were closing down quite well, and we. Dean Henderson didn't really have anything much to do at all in that first half, which I thought was testament to the way that we set ourselves up, but also the fact that Fulham just didn't seem to have that killer edge in this game, which surprised me because they've done quite well, and they're high up the table. They're ahead of us, and I just felt as though they didn't have that final edge to them, and I felt that what they were doing, we were kind of quite easily defending it, which was obviously good for us on that point of view. And so that's kind of how the first half went on. They had, they were passing the ball around. They had quite a bit of possession. We were breaking them down, in the midfield mainly. I thought that Will Hughes and Jeffrey Lerma did a really good job in the middle there, trying to break things up. And so really the first half kind of carried on like that. Then there was a little bit of a confrontation in the penalty area of Fulham's penalty area, I should say, because it was basically between Jean-Philippe Mateta and Joachim Andersen, of course, one of our old players. And there was a little bit of argy-bargy pushing or whatever, and the referee had to come over and have a word with Joachim Andersen about pushing Jean-Philippe Mateta, and you could see he was quite riled up. And I'm wondering whether that was a kind of something the lads thought about, because Joachim Andersen can be wound up quite easily sometimes, and I think that sometimes when he gets like that, he kind of takes his mind off the game a little bit. He kind of gets a bit clouded in his mind, because the cross came in, and although I think one of our players did get a head to it, actually Joachim Andersen got the final head to it, and it went in the back of the net, and it was an own goal, unfortunately, which is sad because I don't want anything bad to happen to the guy. I don't want him to, any bad feeling or anything like that. But I think that Jean-Philippe Mateta wound him up. Whether it was on purpose or not, I don't know. But I think that kind of took his mind off the game a little bit, and he lost a bit of concentration. So anyway, it was 1-0 to us. And that's kind of how the game finished in the first half, with them still having a bit of possession, but us kind of keeping them out. Second half, I felt that we were a little bit stronger in the second half in terms of possession. I think we had a little bit more possession in the second half. As always, Fulham had their chances to get close to us, but again, didn't really trouble Dean Henderson too much. There was the odd shot that went wide, went over, a couple of shots which he had to pluck out of the air and stuff like that. But he wasn't overly worked, I didn't think, in the second half either. And we were trying, obviously, our usual tactic of breaking up the play and trying to get onto the ball. It was a fairly physical game. There was a lot of tackles going in. Some of them were a little bit on the dodgy side from both sides. But I felt that the referee kind of did all right. I mean, he let a few things go, much to the unhappiness of Palace and Fulham players, because I think some of them were probably a bit close to the mark. He did give out a few yellow cards, but I think it was just a very physical game in many ways, and I think it was probably one of the tactics that Fulham employed to try and put us off our game. But actually we did quite well, and some of our passing was really good. I felt Eze had a particularly good game again. He seems to be getting back to his usual self. He was doing dribbles and things like that through players and things. So I thought that was a really good, another really good game for him. I was quite pleased with that. We did have a goal disallowed, which was disappointing. I think it was a Jean-Philippe Mateta goal. I think he was just about offside, unfortunately, but he put the ball away nicely. But there was a bit of controversy there because one of their players, he came out. Well, he stopped initially because I think he had a problem with his ankle, and they took him off the field to treat him, and then they were going to put on a substitute. But I don't think the substitute was quite ready, because they then put him back on the field where he sat down in the middle of the field. And I think it's a bit of a tactic that teams use nowadays. They either drop the goalkeeper or they drop someone on the field to try and not to disrupt the play. I think they just wanted to get the sub on, so they didn't want the play to carry on with one player less. But the referee didn't take any notice of it and let play carry on, and we got a goal, which unfortunately eventually was deemed offside. So, but I think they're going to have to do something about that. I mean, I don't think that he was fit enough to come back on the field. And I think it's a little bit of a tactic by some teams now. But anyway, that was just an aside in the game, really. The second goal was actually a lovely little goal. It was a shot that was blocked, Fulham shot that was blocked by, I think it was Mark Gahey, and it went out to Jean-Philippe Mateta, who was in our own half, just outside our 18-yard box, and he just went for it. He was dodging players. He ran past the halfway line and saw Munoz running down the wing and put a lovely little measured ball into him, curved little shot round into the path of Munoz. And I thought he was going to cross it in, because I think it was Sarr and obviously JP was running in. I thought he was going to put it across, but maybe he didn't feel that there was an avenue there, because he then went down and took a shot himself, which was quite an acute angle, but it went past the keeper for 2-0. So I was really pleased with that. Obviously it was a great little shot, and I think you just put his foot behind it and hoped, really, but it was good that it went past the keeper. And that made it 2-0, and that's how we managed to keep the game at 2-0. Obviously Fulham tried quite hard after that to try and get back onto it and put us under a bit of pressure, but again they didn't really have anything really in the final third in terms of a cutting edge to trouble Henderson with any real issues, which again was surprising for me, because I thought Fulham would be a lot better than that in the final third. They brought on Willian and some of their other players to try and break it down, but again they didn't really get much on the ball, and I think the part of that was testament to the way we played, the way we set ourselves up. We were very good at challenging and getting things back and stuff like that. Wharton came on and made some lovely little passes in the time that he was on, so he was doing well. And we also had Ben Chilwell come on for the last 10 minutes or so, and he did all right as well. He was good at the back there. He did a good job. I think everyone played really well. I was particularly impressed with Hughes again. I thought he had a really good game in the middle there. Always puts everything into that game. Always works hard. Did pick himself up a yellow card, but I think that when you're playing that kind of game, when you're playing the kind of game that he is, which is to break up play in the midfield, I think that does happen. You do pick up yellow cards with the kind of play that he has, the kind of player that he has. He's a very physical, very get in your face, very hard tackling type of player. But it works for us, and I think that's I think we can forgive him the odd yellow card here and there. And so that was basically it. It was a really good game for us. I thought that we played well in ourselves, and I felt that we didn't put away all of the chances that we had, but we had some good chances, and I felt that we put put one of them away. The second one was an own goal, but I felt that we did all right actually in that game. But in terms of players, I think everyone played particularly well. Kamada came on and didn't really do it again. Made a couple of good passes, but again didn't really have anything particular going forward or anything like that. I think he was just then there to give some of the other players a rest, because we've got a busy week coming up. So, but anyway, that's my thoughts on the game. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game, as always. And if you've got this far, don't forget to subscribe for more Crystal Palace news, views and reviews. And I'll see you in the next one.